Let's switch now to a new category. Let's create some drawings. So let's go to our icons and let's click on drafting. Now it's asking us how do you like to insert the part. So it's got a couple options, bottom, front, right, or if you want you can just insert the empty sheet of paper. And you can do your paper size in here, click on modify, and select your paper, however you're gonna, what kind of standard you're using. If it's 11 by 17. So let's click OK. Make sure we have the blank selected. Click OK. And now it throws us into the drafting mode. We can turn off the sketcher grid, and we can turn off the snap to point off also. Okay, this is the sheet. If you want to have multiple sheets, you click here and you're going to be able to see sheet number 1, sheet number 2, 3, 4, depends how many you need. Also, most of the companies that well, you guys are working for, especially Boeing or just big aerospace companies, they have their own format with the title block in here, with the name of the company and then the part. So they if they provide that to you, it'll be easier. So it just what you do, just do a copy and paste and insert the title block in here, and you start throwing your models on top of your title block. So for now we can insert our wheel and our axis in here. Okay, so we can do we can go here, insert, or we can go here, insert views. It's about the same thing. So let's go here to front view, and if you look down here on the bottom, it says select reference plane or a 3D geometry. So let's go to click on window. Let's go to CAD product, and let's look in for the plane. So let's first select our wheel, whatever we want to insert first. So let's click on the wheel, and then let's click on a plane we'd like to insert. So let's click this plane, and there's our wheel. We can rotate over here, or we can rotate here. Can rotate this way, and once you rotate it to your standard, wherever is comfortable, just click the middle point and just click OK. And as you see right now, the wheel is a little bit too big. Our scale, it's 1:1. So we can just do right click on this red boundary. Let's go to properties, click on view, and let's change it to 5. You got a couple options in here. Hidden lines, if you wanted to show, center line, axis. So if you want to see the hidden lines, you can see it over there. And I click OK. So there's our wheel. We can move this in here. We can insert our axis. Let's do the same thing. Click on front view. It's asking us for the plane. Let's click on axis, whatever we want to insert first, and then the plane. So let's go ZY plane. Now we got our axis. We can rotate it if you want. Click OK. Let's do right click. Let's try properties again and make it shrink it a little bit. If you want to make it bigger, if you want to make it smaller, just change this. Or if you want to make this bigger, just go here, put it back, and then just double the size. And we got a huge axle over there. Let's put it back to 1, and let's change this to 5. Click OK, and this is our axis. Okay, and let's see, if you want to insert some text in here, so it's got a couple bars hidden over there, so I can pull them out. If you want to add the text, just click on the text and you type your text, click OK, and this text, as you see, it stays, which is active part right here. And if you go here, you'll take this out, but you don't know which is active and which is deactivated. So let's make sure we activate this. And if you want to add a text onto this wheel, so we can type the text, even though I'm all the way next to the wheel, it's active with this axle. So what we gotta do, we can just highlight this, delete it. We double click on the blue rectangular and automatically gets red, so we activate it. Or we can do right click and activate view. Right click, activate view. So now if you want to write the text, it's automatically on the same window. And if it's too big, you can do properties. We can change the font. We can make it smaller. Or if you want to add notes, you got a text in here, and you got the notes, flag notes, whatever you need to add. Okay, so this is the front view. Actually, this is the top view, so let's rename it to top. Top view over here. And let's bring this down here. Let's do a cut section. Let's try some of the options over here. Oh, we can insert the isometric view. Same thing as asking us on the bottom down here. Select the reference plane for the 3D geometry. So if we go in CAD product, select this, we got our 3D view. Okay, now click OK, and we can shrink this a little bit. Right click, properties. It's not active right now, so we need to double click it. We'll make it active, and let's go properties, view 5. So this is our isometric view, and we've got to change this not to scale. Since it's an isometric view, it's kind of hard to measure it, so that's very important. It's not scalable. Okay, let's try some of those options. View from 3D, projection view, auxiliary view. Let's try an auxiliary view. So let's make sure we activate this. Let's escape now. Right click on the blue line and just click activate view, and let's create an auxiliary view. Automatically we got the center line, and we got the side of the wheel. Okay, let's try projection view. So whatever it's highlighted, activated, that's going to bring us a projection view. So if you want to bring a projection view on this, let's click activate, and this is our let's move this around a little bit. That's the side view. Okay, so this is auxiliary view right here, and we can do some more tricks to these things. We can do some offset sections. Let's try it again. So this is a cut section through this line. Let's try it over here. Let's activate this view. Let's say you'd like to cut this on this angle, and there's our section. Or let's say we want to cut it to here. We want to cut the wheel through here, and this is our view. So it's showing us right here that that's what we split it. Section view BB, and you can say it's coming from here. And we can do some details. Let's see, we want to see what's going on over here. And that's our detail. We can change, double click on this, and we can do right click on properties, and we can change it, make it a little bigger. Okay, you get to move this around as you play with it. We can highlight this and tune it off. So that way we have more space around it. Okay, so let's try a couple dimensions. This is the tab right here. You can choose to put diameter, radiuses, angles. So let's go with standard. So if you go from this line to this line, it's 254 millimeters. So we can go here and switch to inches. So now we got 10 inches. And also we can change the tolerance here. We got 3 decimal places. And if you want, we can change our font over here. We got all these options you can choose from. So that's the dimension right there. Then click back on the dimension. Let's go back here, change it back to inches. Okay, let's move this out of the way a little bit. Let's try to give it a diameter. Let's go back to inches before you click it, and let's change this to 3 decimal places. Okay, so pretty much this is how you create a drawing. Okay, so let's go File, Save Management, and let's make sure we give it the location for the wheel. Save. I want to go one more time to our shape design to learn a couple more options. So if we go here to all general options, we most of it learn how to use the part design. We got a chance to go through most of the icons that we have down here. I want to give it a try right now to grab some of the shape design icons that we didn't get a chance to go through, and show you a couple quick tips, some things that we didn't get a chance to go through. So let's open the shape design, and I want to show you how to insert geometrical sets and body parts. Every time we're going to work on a shape design, all the constructions is good to be built under the geometrical set. So we can insert, click on insert, and it's going to ask us where you want to put it under the part number 1, which part number 1 it's this right here. So we can put the name of the folder, and you see it's down here. So you can insert as many as you want. See, right now we got the part in the test. So if you click test, and we create this subfolder, we're gonna have a folder within a folder, so that way it's more organized. So we can go insert again, geometrical set, we can go on the test again, and we can put subfolder number 2. So now we gotta keep in mind that every time we create a geometrical set, automatically it's gonna make it as our default folder. You see the line on the bottom? That means everything I'm gonna try to create on this folder is gonna automatically put it under this folder. So right now let's give it a try, create a quick sketch, and automatically we can see that we got a sketch under this folder. For example, we don't want to use this anymore. We can throw stuff in here, which is do a right click, define and work object. Automatically the line switches to here. So if you want to put another sketch, automatically it's going to throw it into the other folder. Okay. So now, or if you want to make this the define and work object, that's going to try to put the stuff in here. Okay. So let's make another sketch, and as you see, right now it's under the test. So every time we work with shape design parts, we always have to make sure we insert a geometrical set, and it's gonna ask where you want to insert it. And on a main tree, which is the folder, which is the part down here, or if you want to go in a subfolder. So right now, if you want to put it next to the test, you just put it on click on the main folder, and then we just create test number 2, and we're gonna be able to have our second folder. So this works very good with the shape design. If you're gonna work on a part body or a part design, we always have to have a part body. So what is the difference? If you try to build a pad, let's build a pad on this sketch. Look what it says. The current and work object isn't in a body because we didn't make it as a default. So what we gotta do, we gotta click OK, and automatically it made our part. It just throw it in here even though it's not the default. So we always have to make sure we have our part body defined in work object. We always have to define it, because right now, for instance, if you try to create another pad, see, you don't get the error anymore because our part body is already defined. Okay, so if you want to create another part body, you don't want to have two solids in the same level, you can create another body. Automatically creates our default. We'll go on the pad. Sorry. We'll go on the pad. Click OK. And as you see, our newest part, it throws it in the body too. Okay. And as you work along, this tree is going to get so huge, and you don't know where your part is going to be at. So what we can do, we can just do a right click on the part, and we can put a center graph, and automatically it's going to show us on the center graph where this solid is located. Or if you don't know where the part is at, for example, if you have like a huge assembling on the screen, a whole bunch of parts, and you don't know where the part is at, you can come here, go to the right dash number, and you can do a right click, and you can put a reframe on, and automatically it's going to reframe it. It's going to show you where the solid is at, so that way you won't get confused. Okay, so to find out what is on the tree, go to center graph. It's right there, center graph, show you right there what is that. Or if you go on the tree and you do reframe on, it's going to show you where the solid is located on the assembly. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's start the shape design and cover some more icons that we didn't get a chance to go through. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring everything onto the screen. Or actually, let's try to do the easier way. Close this down and just open a new shape design. Alright, as you see, we don't have the geometrical set in here, so we can insert the geometrical set, create your name, and automatically emit it as our default. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Insert couple subfolders into our test. So we got one here. Let's insert a couple more because we want to give it. We'll try a couple more options in there. Sub-2. Oh, sorry. So what happened is, right now, because I didn't tell it where to create it, he automatically put it into our part design. But what we can do a right click, go all the way down here, and we can say change geometrical set, and then it's gonna ask us where. So you can click on test, and automatically it's gonna move our subfolder on the right location. So we can do either way. We can do it right from the first time, insert it in the right place, sub-3. We can put it from here from the beginning on the test, and then click OK. We get it in the right folder. Or if you forget to do that, for instance, you just create a folder, sub-4, and you just click OK. Instead of going over here and going to test, just leave it on the main part body. You get it over here, right? But you want to put it in the same subfolder with the test. So you do a right click, go all the way down, and change geometrical set. It's going to ask us where you want to put it. You click on the test, click OK, and there we have it. let's try to use this projection icon. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create a quick surface and couple sketches. And I want to make sure that I put everything in the sub number one. So let's create our rename our subfolder number one. Right click. Let's go to properties, and let's call it projection. And as you see right now, that's not our default folder. The default folder is sub number 4. So if you want to create all of our geometry in this folder, we have to make sure we define it. So right now, now I know for sure that everything I'm going to create it is going to go into this subfolder. So let's create a quick sketch. Let's go on this plane. Let's create a spline. Click escape. Let's get out of the sketch. And let's use this extrude option. It's going to ask us for the profile. Then they already snapped into the direction, so it already knows the direction. So now we can grab it, grab the limit and move it whatever you want, or you can put the dimension whatever is necessary. Okay, now let's grab this plane over here and offset it. So click on the plane and offset it, offset from a plane. As I mentioned before, we can choose a lot of options we can go from over here. So for on this point right now, let's offset it and let's go a little bit higher than our surface over here. So let's just drag it and move it over here and click OK. And anytime we can edit this. If it's not enough, our dimension, just double click on it and just change your dimension to whatever it needs to be. Now let's create another sketch on top of this plane. And let's create another spline. And let's keep it. Let's hit escape now. As you realize right now, the moment I move it, it gets anywhere shapes. But when I hit escape, this is gonna be my last point right here. So even though my shapes looks pretty weird right now, this point right here is gonna be my last point. So that was our last point right there. So let's get out of this cage right now, and let's give it one more sketch into this view. So let's click on the sketch over here, click on this plane, oh sorry, on the sketch, and let's just create a line. Let's get out. The reason I create this line is because what happened is I'm going to project this curve perpendicular to this surface, looking up and down on the z-axis. But also we can project this along an axis, and that's why I created just a line right here. So now we can go to our projection. And it's going to ask us how you want to project it, normal or the longer direction. So for now, let's do it normal. It's going to ask us for the projected, and then we're going to click on our sketch, and our support is looking for the support to be projected on, and we can click on this surface. Okay, now if we do a preview, as you see, we got our curve in here. So let me click OK and change the color. To change the color of this surface, you can do a right click, properties, and change the color. Or we can click on the surface and come up here and change the color. Those bars right here, you can take them on and off. For example, if I turn this off, if you don't have this icon on the screen, just do a right click anywhere over here and then look for graphic properties, and there it is. So I just put it back in there. Okay, once you establish your icons the way you like them, so they don't get moved anymore, you can lock them in place. So say I got a lot of icons over here. The way, for example, this is the way I like it right now. I usually like to bring everything on the screen. I'm gonna go to customize, and you can click on lock toolbar option. So right now, if you click close, if you try to grab this and move it, you can't move them anymore. They're locked in place, which is pretty good. It will help you because by mistake you can pull them out, get them switched, but we can put them back also. So this is our projection right here, and what I wanted to show you, I wanna change a couple of things with this. So let's double click on the projection, and it's got a couple options here. You can put on the smooth, you can put tangency. So what happens is it creates a very smooth surface. Right now, instead of going normal, let's go along the direction to see what happens. So now it's going to ask us for the direction. So just click on the direction over here, and let's change it to the Z direction, and let's put a preview. And right now, if you see what happened on our part on the surface, if you look from the top view, we got same curve but projected on the surface, and you can change this direction anytime you like. So right now let's click on the direction again and just click on the sketch on this line that I just built. Let's do a preview. So there is our sketch. Is our so looking from the top view right now, it's projected along this direction. So let's go to the top view. As you see right now, it's not perpendicular to the surface because it follows this direction. Okay? Next one is the next icon is the first one was projection. The second one is combine. So let's create our subfolder 3 to combine. So let's do right click, properties, and let's put combine. And let's make it as default. So let's put define and work object. Right now, because we put everything under one folder over here, if I do one right click, I can hide everything. Okay? And everything is on a no-show. Everything is on a no-show, but it's right there. So let's create this time a sketch on the ZY plane. Let's create ourselves another spline. Click escape. Get out of the sketch. And let's create the intersection, another spline with Z and X. Okay, you can see better this way. So let's click on this plane and let's create another sketch. Now let's go back to the spline. Let's go back to the origin. Let's get out of the sketch now. So we got two intersection over here. Actually, I don't like this sketch over here. Let's delete this one and let's create a sketch on our X and Y. Will make it easier for you guys to understand. Basically, the top view right there. Okay, let's get out of the sketch. So we got two splines right here, right? What I'm gonna do now, I just show you pretty quick how the combine works. Now if I go to the combine and I want to click a curve number 1 with a curve number 2, I click a preview. If you see over here, it's going to give me an automatically intersection of this curve with this curve. To understand better how this curve works and what it does, I'm just going to click cancel for now, and I'm going to just extrude those sketches. So let's go to extrude, and let's bring it past this point right here. Click OK. Click on the surface. Let's change the color to see better. And let's change the color of the sketches too. So just click on the sketch and let's change it to black. Click on this sketch, change it to black. We can change the thickness if we want, so make it a little thicker. We can make it dotted line, whatever you prefer. Okay, now let's create another extrude. Okay, we can go both ways on this one, just a little bit. And this is a little bit too high, we can bring it down. And let's change this color also. Now once I'm going to create my combine option, you will be able to understand what it does. It's going to basically create a curve with the intersection of this surface with this surface, but with this icon we don't need to have the surfaces. It does it with geometry only. Okay, so let's go back to this combine icon. Let's select again combine sketch number 1, which is this, which is sketch number 6, which is this. Let's do a preview, and there is our curve right there, intersection of those two curves. So the reason I create the surfaces is just to make it easy to understand. Okay, and we got the same option. We can go along the direction. Also, we can change the direction of the projection, so it works the same like the first projection that we just used previous.